Hi there, and welcome to today's video blog, our first video blog, basically for the year. So today's topic is the power of intention. So rather than me writing a long article about it, I might as well just discuss it here, and you will be able to watch, will make it easier. So what is an intention? Well, an intention is simply this, that if you have an idea or a thought, and you have an intent, so that question there is, how do you translate that and manifest it to something else? So it's a starting point for a powerful creation of a manifestation that you want to achieve, you want to attain. So in other words, if you want to have a goal, you want to have a vision, and that's part of your intention. So a good example would be this. 2-3 months ago, I had an intention of competing in world championships. So in order to do so, number one, you will need a few things in terms of variables or characteristics that you would need, right? So, and what would it be? So characteristics, factors, of the self. I'll call it the self. People will call it the self. People will call it, some people call it the being. Some people call it with the spirit, the light. So the thing is mainly the characteristic of who you are as an individual. I'm not talking here in terms of labeling, whether if you're the best athlete in the world, if you're a world champion. So these are just all labels are the end result of something. However, the self, for example, or something, or for example, the result of the self would be simply one, commitment. So in order for me to sign up, part of the intention is to commit. So how do I do that? Well, the first step for me is to register. Once I've registered, then I'm set. Then that shows commitment. Aside from commitment is now to have the focus to train. So to train 2 times a day, 6 days a week. So you, in order to do so as well, you need to be motivated. So for me, I need to be motivated in order to get up early in the morning, to go to the gym, to go to the academy, to train. So as you would know, as part of the program, that if you're in my program, there's 3 aspects of conditioning, right? You have the mental conditioning, you have the physical conditioning, you have the technical conditioning. So the mind-body continuum, which means now that it's all up here, that if you have a strong mind, then the body will basically follow. If you have a weak mind, then the body will follow. If your mind is more prone to negative thoughts, leads to negative emotions, then the body will also follow. Hence, negative emotions would be such as fear, self-doubt, anxiety, creating reasons why not to. So the lack of something, the lack of confidence, the lack of motivation, the lack of focus. So these are simply all distractions to the intention that you want to attain. So of course, there are certain times being a human being, we all always have our own flaws. At times there would be a thought whether if I would make it, or the fear of having an injury, or self-doubt, will I win, or will maybe perhaps I won't win the world championships. And then on the other hand, but once the self kicks in, then this is where you put aside in terms of that thought, and you can ask yourself, is that really who I am? Maybe perhaps I'm not that. Well, once you're committed in terms of something, in this particular case, for me to compete at world championships, then I would need to also have the confidence within myself that I can do it. To have the confidence within myself based on my own level of skill, my own level of experience. That fear is simply just a figment of our own imagination, right? So fear is a pigment of our own imagination. It doesn't exist. It is a story that we created within ourselves in the past, that created in terms of a belief that limits us to whoever we want to attain, we want to achieve based on our intention. So when you have an intention and when you also have an intention, it's also imperative is to have the purpose of your intention. It doesn't matter where it be, whatever sport that you do. It doesn't matter be for your school, for your career, relationships. There always has to be a purpose in regards to the intent that you are intending to do. Now that school is coming back, the question is, what is your intention going back to school? What will be your goal? What are your goals? So if you're watching this, I would recommend for you to create your goals for this year, now that you're back at school. Likewise, now that I've been training you for X amount of weeks, I know that you're ready, you did the work. It's just a matter of now in terms of your intent of where you want to be and where you want to go. I've heard a lot lately where, oh, I'm only going to do junior varsity because, notice now the word because, being the varsity, there are a lot of great athletes out there. No, that means now then you're adding, or you're now putting respect to other athletes who you believe that they're better than you. No, you've done the work. So in other words, that if you trust and you believe that you're worthy of it, then you're not giving respect to others. Therefore, it is also imperative to have your own set of respect. If you respect yourself first, then you can respect others. Likewise, just imagine now, if my thought process that I'm going to be competing in a world championship, oh, I don't think I'm gonna compete, or I'm competing in world championships, but I don't think I would be able to make it because they're better than me. No, it's not. Everybody wants to win the gold medal. Everybody wants to win. Nobody likes to lose. Nobody wants to lose. So what is it that sometimes we have that limitation? Well, not just the fear aspect in terms of self-doubt, but it is the fear of losing. Sometimes people think that losing is a form of shame. It is equating to shame, that you're not worthy of, that I'm not good enough. I am not good enough. Or perhaps it would be letting down. I'm going to put my parents down. I'm going to put my friends down. That if I lose, then what do they think of me? So the self-conscious aspect. At the end of the day, it's got nothing to do about others. Who gives a toss about others? But if you really did the work, that you really trust yourself, that you're really confident in your own skills, mentally, physically, and spiritually, that it doesn't matter that even if you lost or you didn't get accepted, hey, guess what? You can learn from that experience. And this is where I spoke to one athlete. What would be your worst case scenario if you didn't get in to a varsity team? Well, the worst case is there's no worst case, because you can always ask your coach and say, hey, look, coach, what are the things I need to work on in order for me to be in the team either next year or sometime even this year? So if you have that mentality of open-mindedness, and asking for feedback, what do you need to work on? Great. I need to work on more of my speed. I need to work more on my vertical height. I need to work more on my attitude. I need to work more on my characteristics, my behavior, or whatnot, then that to me is actually priceless. So in other words, that next week, whatever the end result for me, whether it will be a gold medal, silver, bronze, or not even place, but as long as if I give my all, my 100% best in terms of performance based on my commitment, my focus, my motivation, my confidence, my trust, my worthiness, my respect, my self-love, then I am a champion no matter what other people will say. Yes, the end result will always sometimes going to be some form of a reflection, but it doesn't dictate of who you are as an individual. It doesn't dictate that just because you lost doesn't necessarily mean that you're not a champion. People do not know what goes behind the scenes. And this is why I can relate to athletes I do train, is because of the amount of sweat, the amount of time, energy that is being put into it. And at the same time, I also appreciate parents who support their kids because they know that they have that ability. They know that they can go beyond their own self. I wish I had that basically in the past where my parents supported me and have a personal trainer or could do these certain things. No, everything was self-motivated. Everything I had to work for, everything I had to pay for. So, kids, if you're watching this, please make sure to always appreciate what you have and always appreciate and tell your parents thank you and always tell them that you love them, because this is also a sign of their love for you, because they know that you have that talent, they know that you have that ability to go beyond based on the intention. Of course, part of the intention is that you also need to have the desire, the passion. When you love something, you'll do anything to be the best. You'll get up in the morning, no excuses. And this is also where you need to be aware in terms of your thought processes, where excuses, reasoning why not to is simply a distraction of the focus of what you're intending or what your intention was in the very beginning, your purpose. So if your purpose is to be stronger, your purpose is not to avoid injuries, or the purpose is to be in the varsity team or something, to be the best athlete, then always remember in regards to that intention or that purpose, to have that focus, right? So I can just simply talk more about this stuff. The rest will be for some other topic. If you have other topics that you want me to discuss, please let me know. But other than that, I wish you all the best, good luck. And for those who are athletes who, to be honest with you, I'm really proud of the athletes I do train. They have, in terms of their attitude, it's very seldom that I hear complaints, but other than that, they push themselves to their own limits. And in that regard, the result is basically magnificent. For example, Caroline pushed herself, and who would have thought, from leg pressing 270, 180 to 270, and now leg presses 810. Likewise for Kaylin, had some knee injuries, ankle injuries, starting from 170, 180, and now she leg press 780, pushing to 800 pounds. The speed, the power, the vertical height. Likewise with Ethan, who couldn't even do one push-up when I met him. Now can do 10 push-ups, pushes himself, vertical height of more than 11 feet. For me, that's just basically an amazing result. Christopher started, right? But this athlete has an inner power where he doesn't even know it. Basically, all these kids has, in terms of their the mental component, if they can unleash that, if they can just let go, basically deadly. Michaela, Sophia, Man, all these athletes are trained this summer. It's amazing. Um, I believe just keep going at it. Likewise for James, same thing. Just believe in yourself. Always have that level of confidence. Never measure a level of confidence. And if you're sharing this to your friends, you know, I know for sure they will learn something from it. But the power of intention is so powerful that as long as you focus where there's no distraction and avoiding, I call it the ego trap, where fear is simply an ego, self-doubt, the lack of something, lack of commitment, lack of confidence, lack of motivation. These are all simply controlled by the ego that is not you, the self, the being, where by given right, whether it's God, the universe, has been giving us all these characteristics, that we all have these, but unfortunately we measure all these characteristics based on a limiting belief that we created for ourselves from outer environment and got stuck in there in the subconscious mind. All right, guys, thank you very much for listening. This is it for me for today in terms of the power of intention. So once again, like I said, good luck and congratulations at the same time. And don't doubt yourself and just go for it. You have nothing to lose. And likewise for me, next week, I'm ready. And all we got to do is just perform in my peak performance state. Next Saturday, I'm good to go. And likewise for you. There's always a time and moment that which we all have, and you just have to take that opportunity. All right, take care. Until next time, I'll see you at training. Bye. See you later. Have a good day. Have a good weekend, guys.